American Airlines is the most expensive airline in the US, but did you know they're one of the worst rated? Known for being the airline with the most delays, cancellations, and lost bags, American received a score of 46.52 out of 100. So today I'll be taking 2 flights with them and seeing if they're as bad as people say.
Today I'm going to be taking 2 flights on American, so let's head through security and get this travel day started because I already checked in.
While we wait to board, let's look at the reviews of American Airlines. On TripAdvisor, they are rated a 3-star airline, with most of their reviews being terrible. One person said that the service was terrible and that it was the worst flight ever. Another person also said that it was the worst flight ever. And another person said that the staff was plain rude. So overall, American Airlines is not rated the best.
Alright, boarding has officially begun. It's time to get on board this flight and go on to Dallas.
2. No batteries, spare batteries, e-cigarettes, powered on devices. All right, thank you.
Now that we're on board, let's have a look around the economy class seat. Underneath the seat, there's space for a small bag, and there's a universal power outlet. In the seat back pocket, there's good space to store your stuff, and there's a safety card and the air sickness bag. To the right, there's a seat recline button, and above, you'll find the personal reading lights, air vents, and the flight attendant call button. So that's the economy class seat. But before I knew it, the boarding door had already closed, and we were getting on our way to Dallas.
This airplane has 2 exit doors at the front of the aircraft, and overwing exits are located near the center of the cabin. All exits are clearly marked with signs and opening instructions. If needed, escape path lighting in the aisle will illuminate near the floor to guide you to an exit indicated by signs and lights. Keep in mind the closest exit may be behind you. In the event of an emergency, leave all belongings and proceed to the closest usable exit.
After a few minutes of taxiing, we began rolling down the runway.
We are climbing up to our cruising altitude of 31,000 feet, but the flight attendants are about to begin the onboard service, and it's going to be a little drink service. But it's been a smooth ride so far, and that was an absolutely beautiful climb.
As I saw the flight attendants preparing for the service, I opened up my tray table, which is a decent size for this being a regional jet, and it can also extend and it has a cup groove. And a few minutes later, the flight attendants came through the cabin with the service, where I got an orange juice and some Biscoff cookies. While we cruise on our way to Dallas, let's have a look around the entertainment system. To get there, you turn on Wi-Fi and you go to aainflight.com, where after loading for a little bit, it'll bring you to this page where you click on open aainflight.com and it'll take you to the home page. Here you can see the weather at your destination, how much time is left in your flight. You can choose to get online and you can view free entertainment. You can also watch live TV, but that wasn't working on today's flight. You can also purchase Wi-Fi. Today it costs $13 on this flight, which is extremely expensive considering this is a really short flight. If you use T-Mobile, you can get it for free, and they also do have subscriptions for frequent flyers. But American Airlines is known for having really expensive Wi-Fi. Now let's move over to the free entertainment. When you click on view free entertainment, it'll bring you to this page where you have plenty of options to choose from. You can choose from new this month, top picks, summer of sports, Paramount scares, and more. And before I knew it, we were already approaching Dallas, and we started beginning our approach. And after we made our descent and approach, soon enough, we were coming in for landing at DFW.
Bye, thank you.
Once I got off of my first flight, I made my way to the Skylink, where I took the train from Terminal E over to Terminal A, where I headed to the American Airlines Admirals Club.
Alright, I just hopped off the flight. Right now I'm here at the Admirals Club right now, and I have to talk a little quiet because it's a little busy in here. But the flight was really good, not turbulent at all. There were only a few bumps, but otherwise it was really smooth. And I came here to Terminal A from Terminal E, and the Admirals Club is really nice, and I just had a little breakfast here. Let's do a quick lounge tour.
The Admirals Club, located in Terminal A, is a nice lounge. It's modern, spacious, and it has lots of seating. But it can get busy at times here, and it does not have any views overlooking the airport. But there are plenty of complimentary food and drinks, so you'll never get hungry or thirsty here. It also offers additional amenities, such as a business center, which is a nice place to get some work done, TV monitors so you can check the status of your flight, a kids room for parents traveling with children, and showers available upon request. It also has free Wi-Fi for everyone.
So overall, this is a pretty solid lounge. It has a business center, showers, a kids room, and pretty good food options. The only thing is there's no view, as you can see behind me, so it feels a little claustrophobic in here without a view and being able to see anything outside. So if you're wondering how I was able to get into the lounge here, it's because with AA Advantage, you can buy a day pass for the lounge, and that day pass is $79, and it grants you access for 1 day, and you can bring a guest with you to the lounge. So I got the day pass just to escape the crowds in the terminal and at the gate area, and also I wanted something to eat this morning. But the day pass is really useful if you have a really long layover and you just like to have somewhere to relax. But keep in mind that passengers traveling in first or business class do get priority over you, so just make sure to go to a lounge that's not very busy, because if it's really busy then you won't get priority over the first business class passengers. But anyway, let's head to the gate now.
Once I left the Admirals Club, I made my way through Terminal A to my gate.
Gate service to Washington, D.C., boarding out of gate A9.
Now that we're on board, let's do a tour of the seat on mainline American Airlines. Starting underneath, there's space for a small bag or a carry-on and universal power outlets. There's also the slow USB-A chargers. Above, there's a literature pocket and a device holder. Moving down past the tray table, there's a seat back pocket with good space to store your stuff. To the right, you'll find the seat recline button, and above you'll find personal reading lights, air vents, and the flight attendant call button. So while the seat is almost identical to the one on the CRJ, it does have a device holder, and it is bigger. But before I knew it, the boarding door had been closed, and we were making our way over to DC. After taxiing for a few minutes, we made it out to the runway and we began rolling. Since I saw the flight attendants preparing for the onboard service, I opened up my tray table, which was a good size, and it extends and it has a cup groove. But while the flight attendants were about to do the onboard service, something crazy happened.
So we're currently cruising up here at 35,000 feet, and there actually was a medical emergency that occurred on the flight, but luckily everything is okay. The passenger that happened to is okay, and we are not diverting, and everything is all fine now. And I'll explain everything that happened and unfolded when we get to DC. But yeah, we're cruising along. The flight attendants did have to suspend the service so they could help that passenger explain everything that happened.
While we cruise, let's look at the in-flight entertainment. To get there, it's the same thing. You go to Wi-Fi and you click on aainflight.com, then it'll take you to the homepage after loading for a little bit. Here you can see how much time is left in your flight. First, we're going to start by looking at the Wi-Fi. Even though it didn't work on today's flight, if it did, for a 1 hour pass it was $16, and for a flight pass it was $21. Again, extremely expensive. You can also access free Wi-Fi if you watch a short ad, and you can access it for free if you have T-Mobile. Now let's look at the free entertainment. The free entertainment is the exact same as on board the last flight, except on this flight the live TV was actually working and there were 12 channels to choose from. There was also music and podcasts, and on the homepage, additionally, you can check the weather at your destination. Once the medical emergency was resolved and the passenger was okay, the flight attendants resumed the service, where I got some pretzels and a Sprite. And we continued on our way to DC. After we made our descent and approach, soon enough we were coming in for landing in Washington, D.C.
Bye, thank you. Bye, thank you. You too.
Once I got off my flight, I started making my way towards the exit and the metro.
Customers to opening, step back to allow customers. Thank you.
As you can see, I just made it to my hotel, and I just want to fill you in on what happened with the medical emergency. So as we were cruising at 35,000 feet and the flight attendants were beginning the onboard service, a passenger alerted one of the flight attendants that they were not feeling good. So they immediately went to help that passenger, and a few minutes later, one of the flight attendants went to the forward of the aircraft and came over the intercom and asked if there were any medical professionals on board. Luckily, there were a few doctors and nurses who were able to go and help the passenger, and the passenger ended up being okay, which is the most important part, and I'm glad that that passenger was okay and nothing bad happened. We did not have to divert, and I hope they're doing well now. But yeah, that was quite an eventful flight.
So overall, is American Airlines the worst and terrible airline that people say they are? The answer is no. Not at all. I've never had a terrible experience flying with American Airlines. Every experience has been good, and it's never been bad. The service has always been good, and in fact, some of the best flight attendants I've ever met have been on board American Airlines. So when you see the negative reviews, I would say actually give them a try yourself and see what they're like, because I think your experience will be very good. So make sure to hit the like button and smash the subscribe button, so that way you see more future videos about other airlines. And now that you have seen what it's like flying in American Airlines economy class, check out what it's like flying in their first class, and that video is linked on the screen to the right.